It's the Cod
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Episode, what is this? 35?
35, 35.
We out here rolling.
Let's
Your
get it
boys,
on.
Ryan and Paul.
Paul and Ryan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
We
man.
gotta, like you said, let's get it on. We gotta start off and pay tribute to a legend, one of the greatest to ever do it.
Big old
One
fact.
of the realest artists in our lifetime.
Mm,
Dark Man X, the great DMX.
yeah.
He passed earlier this week at 50, um 50 years young. Now what they're saying is that it was a overdose that caused the heart attack, and he's been in the hospital for a few days, and there was some organ failure, and then they said he was brain dead. So then his family made the tough decision of pulling him off of life support. But he was on life support, while he was in the hospital. So, we were all praying for him to pull through. And he's in a better place right now. He's not suffering. So that's
Absolutely.
the one thing that we can say. The one bright thing that we can say is he's at rest now. So
And for people who aren't as familiar with DMX or were really paying attention to hip hop when he was really reigning, DMX he took over the billboards in the 90s. He was one of the premier acts and artists and influences in hip hop and rap. Um, features from everybody from Jay Z to back then Ja Rule to pretty much everybody. Aaliyah, rest in peace. DMX was not only a poet and rapper, but he was a very good actor as well.
mhm.
So man, you gotta show the man some respect. And if and like I
he
said,
was he was an artist that sold two number one albums in 1 year. Both went platinum.
that's crazy,
And I don't know who else has done that since.
right?
Two full length, not EPs, not mixtapes, two full length studio albums back to back in 1 year.
Absolutely.
So, he's had five number one albums. Like you said, he was in movies with Jet Li, Aaliyah. Obviously, he starred in Belly,
Mm-hmm.
hip hop classic. Um,
Cradle to the grave.
Cradle to the Grave. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Just a lot, bro. A
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. He
So,
was he was a big dude in the hit. To real hip hop heads. They know how big DMX was, and to the Rough Riders, Swiss
yes,
Beats,
sir.
Eve, Dragon, The Lock.
He was somebody that really, had his religion and spirituality close to him. All of
Absolutely.
his albums started and closed with a prayer. He was always, preaching the importance of having that relationship with God. And that's one of the things where you can look at him and be like, okay, he came up in a tough environment. He rapped about being a stick up kid, this, and that. So all of the pitfalls of, I guess, rap or hip hop that you like, people like to like use as a criticism, when people say stuff like, oh, it's glorifying, you know, hood mentality or violence or whatever. He rapped about just real life, how he came up from meager beginnings, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he always took it back to God. He always had those prayers for salvation, for forgiveness, for clarity, and things like that. So there was that duality, and you knew nothing he was saying was for show or was fake. So you could really sit there and believe everything that he was saying. If you ever wanted to look at him and say, okay, this is this or this is that, you had to take the good with the bad. You had to take the
Yeah.
bad with the good. So yeah, he was definitely, a light for people and an example for people that no matter what you're going through, you can always turn to God, or if you're not religious, you can always kind of strive for more, continue being better regardless, keep fighting those demons.
Exactly.
They're not gonna win. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's huge, man. And if you've been watching the news and social media, everybody's posting his masters were actually
Mm-hmm.
purchased by Jay-Z and Beyonce, which I think is if you want to know how big DMX was or how influential he was, Jay-Z and Beyonce purchased his masters and gave it to his kids, 17 kids he leaves by, which is a lot of kids. I was like, damn, 17, Dark Man.
Right, right.
17. But they left it to they gave his masters to his kids for free, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because him and Jay-Z, they toured together, rapped together, were rivals and were friends for many, many, many years, So it's a tremendous I think it's a tremendous gesture, them doing that. And like I said, it shows the importance of him in hip hop for them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um Man, on the bright side, what's your favorite DMX track, man? If you could think about it, if you could narrow it down.
Man, I mean, right now, it might be cliche to say slipping,
Right.
but I feel like that just encapsulates everything. Like everything I just said about the bad and the good. Right? I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get up.
I gotta get up.
That was everything. I felt like that just spoke to who he was as an artist. It really spoke to that duality. It spoke to that struggle. It spoke to that pain. But outside of that, I would say Ayo Kato.
Mm.
Now, Kato was his friend, a Latin king from Chicago who passed away, and he made that song as a tribute to him to celebrate his life. And I forget which video that song was tacked on the end. Back in the day when people used to do like double videos, right?
Right,
So
right.
he had a song for a video, and then at the end, this song started that kind of had
It's like playing the drums.
these like bongos or something like that, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
like him walking down the street with all his people, you know, dogs that I call my friends,
Yeah. Right.
and we miss you, hey
Hey,
yo,
yo,
Kato.
Kato.
I'm like, man,
Yeah.
that's just it's a really touching song, like. And just recently, I really did some research on who Kato was. But like back then, all I did was say, okay, he just made this for one of his friends, and that was it. I
Right.
didn't really need to know the backstory. I could feel it without knowing who Kato was or what the relationship was. I
Yeah.
just thought, look at this huge superstar doing this for his friend, really putting on, and I could feel that. So yeah, those
Yeah.
would probably be my two favorite.
Yeah, man. All the emotion. Like I said, he was a poet, bro. Like the way he talked about things, and like you said in A.O. Kato, like he poured, like you could tell he was hurt. You know what I mean? And you could tell that
Mm-hmm.
he meant every word he said. So even if you didn't know who Kato was, like you felt that. And I think
Mm-hmm.
any of us can relate that in our life. If you ever lost somebody close to you or somebody that you love, and I think that's just the power of music, and in particular the power of his music, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think that my favorite, I like slipping.
Yeah.
I think I like slipping, man. When I was young and I was into some dark hip hop, X was coming, X is coming. That 1, 2, X is coming for you. Like
Mm-hmm.
my
Yeah.
my song, bro. Like that,
Speak on it.
it made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. You know what I mean? It's about
Mm-hmm.
the going on the hunt, if you will. It's about the attack. It's about turning yourself from a lamb to a lion, pretty much, which is powerful in its own. And
Yeah.
that and for a while, man, that was kind of like my mantra. And yeah, I mean, he had a bunch of them. You know how the games are being played. It's how it's going down. It's on, and I got to know now. Come on, that was
Hey.
another one. That was another one. How it's going down, and man, of course, worldwide, Rough Riders anthem. Rough
Yeah.
Riders anthem. One of the biggest. I'm not sure where it ranks as far as plays and sales. Um, to other hip hop songs and stuff, but I've never been in a club, never been in a social situation, and that song came on and nobody knew that song. So I mean, so I you know, I truly man, this is a big one. This is a hard one for the like you said for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is hard, but I mean, we just got to celebrate his life. And like I said, if you're not really into DMX or don't know anything about DMX, I would highly suggest you watching some of his movies, listening to some of his music. Shoot, it's crazy because first we got somebody who passes away like Nipsey Hussle, who was influential on the West Coast, and now we got DMX passing away, who was huge from the East Coast because he's originally from Yonkers, New York. And
Yeah.
man, 2020 and 2021, they blood brothers for real.
Yeah, man. We're not out of it yet, man.
Nah. It's going down, but it's going down swinging. That's for sure. So
Yeah.
it's going down swinging. But on a lighter note, I want to bring up the verses, man. I want to bring up the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire. You check it out.
Yeah, man. It was dope. It was real smooth, you know. It had all the hits, even maybe some hits that you forgot. And then you're
Right.
like, oh damn, that's them. That's them. That's
Right,
them.
right.
But who did you think won?
Man, honestly, man, it didn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think I might have called you too. It was late. I think I might have called you
That's
at
a fact. Yeah.
at like 1 or something, but I was in full jam mode. You know, I had a little glass of some adult beverage. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I was
Had to get it
vibing.
in.
Yeah. I turned the loudspeakers on and I was enjoying myself, man. And they had Steve Harvey hosting it. And Steve was just going crazy because that's his era of
Yeah.
music. But it's funny though. It's a point that I saw people making in the comments was this, and this is something that if you're on the younger spectrum listening to us, you know what I mean. You got to realize this. People were pointing out the songs that, oh man, I heard somebody sample this. I heard that. I heard that in the sample before. Oh, I heard this in the sample before. I'm like, bro, do y'all not know like Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Isley Brothers, Michael Jackson, like some of the, Stevie Wonder, and the list goes on. Some of these old school black jazz, funk, blues bands and artists, man, so many people sample for them. The culture is for real influenced by old school black music. And that's just a fact, It's people were the comments I was reading, they were kind of shocked. They were like, "Damn, such and such use this as a sample." Like I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, man, you got to get in tune. You got to start educating yourself on,
Exactly.
and where this music actually comes from, man. It was definitely a trip through time listening to them get down and kind of compete with each other. But man, like I said, I'm looking at them in the background. They're singing each other's songs. You know what I mean?
Yep. They knew it. They knew what good music is.
Yeah.
One big celebration, man.
Come on now, you got Ron Isley up there. You got Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So
yeah, I heard Ron made a whole new generation of women want him. All the young girls are tweeting out that who is this smooth guy. So yeah, Ronald Isley strikes again.
Hey man, Ron will do it to you, man. Ron will do it to you. He'll set the mode. He'll set the mood for sure. No. He out there in his silk Versace jacket with his cane. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Come on,
doing this thing, man. So
still singing, vocals still sound good for both of them, man. Isley's and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Absolutely, man. They look like they're tour ready right now. To be honest,
yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean that's
the Isley Brothers guitarist, he was killing it. So yeah, these are real musicians, man, who haven't lost a step.
Yeah, that's big facts, man. It was a treat. It was honestly a treat. And like me and you talked about previously, kind of off the record, I think that moving forward, hopefully in 2021, because I actually just one of my friends bought some tickets to a concert that's going on out here um, in a couple weeks. The very first concert of the season, even though they're sitting people spaced out, you know what I mean? Like you got your own section. They're spacing out groups or whoever you with. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see like the quality of concert. I'm interested to see uh how they
Live shows get back.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's important, you know. I think it's important, and like I said, like my point was going to be, we talked about how versus is kind of setting the precedence for that. You know what I mean? They're kind of setting the precedence for that because think about like a live versus. I mean, I'm paying for that.
Yeah, you got to.
That's crazy.
Legendary artists all around.
Absolutely.
And we got Meth and Red coming up on 420. So
yeah.
Imagine if that was live.
Sold out.
How lit that would be.
Sold out instantly. Yeah, literally lit. Hey, literally lit.
At the Red Rocks.
Right. Come on now.
Yeah. Hey man, we talking about sold out. What's going on with what's going on with the sneaker game, bro? Let me take it there. So I scrolled on the timeline just to see what's going on in the world, and I seen that normally a general release shoe. So if this is foreign language to you, general release means that you can walk into any Foot Locker, Champs, go online and scoop it up. It's readily available. It's not limited, like your typical hype shoe is. So the news story of the past few days we are in the era where white on white Air Force Ones and black on black Air Force Ones are sold out. Yeah. Or if they're not sold out, they're selling out. Right. Because you said you just looked and you saw a pair of white on whites that you were going to scoop up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally scrolling on the timeline and I was like, you know what? Should I bring it up? I'm going to bring it up because I see 1 hour ago a link or an advertisement for black on black Air Force Ones. And now the headline or the alert says last sizes.
Right.
Going now. I don't know. I mean, you and me have been around the block a little bit by now, so I don't know when in our lifetime we've ever seen that an alert for last sizes on black Air Force Ones.
I mean, never.
Yeah,
never.
You usually be able to get them anytime you want. Rock them, stock them, dead stock them. Anytime for any purpose, any matter, you can go and cop some white on whites or black on blacks, especially able to cop black on blacks.
Exactly.
That was a shoe that was a meme. If you rocking black on black Air Force Ones, you into some
you into something.
Some other activity.
Right.
But nowadays sneaker culture has gotten to such a point that I guess the general consensus is let's just buy up everything and try to shift this market, try to move this market.
Hey, like I said, man, I'm confused, man. I was trying to figure it out myself because a sneaker would literally, and this isn't just whatever towards white Air Force Ones, it's just what me and Ryan were talking about beforehand. But a sneaker will, release day, boom. I'm like, all right, well, shit, I think I might want to cop this one. I like that colorway. Or I like how that sneaker looks, or I try to get it. I jump in, sold out within minutes of its release, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in the world where you can't, buy from Finish Line, buy from Foot Locker, the regular Joe, get a nice shoe. And I thought about it, man. It's the stock X's, it's the stadium goods, it's the the resale market, the eBays, you know what I'm saying? The individual people who got bots out here buying up 1,000 pairs of one shoe when it drops. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
people are buying them, throw a couple bucks on them, and resell them. They making a profit. You know, which I guess that's capitalism, right? That's that's business. But Jesus Christ, I mean, it's like
Yeah, let us live, man.
for real.
You
It's
can't wear
like,
all the shoes.
jeez, you know,
And not every shoe you buy is gonna be a hit. Because I know there's a lot of people buying shoes who don't even like the shoe that they're buying,
right.
but they're buying it in hopes that it's gonna sell. And I want to see their face when the shoe doesn't sell, or they have to resell it for under retail, or they got to make a loss.
And that's where I'm at, man. Like I wear a size 12, bro. Size 12,
Mm-hmm.
Statistically are one of the number one sizes to be sold out instantly.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think I think it's
Quick.
I think it's between 10 and a half and 12. Sold out.
Quick. Mm-hmm.
I'm on Foot Locker's website right now. It's 12 sold out.
Gone. Look.
That's crazy.
Look. It's gonna get nasty out here when all the general releases you got to fight for.
You got to fight for them, man.
What's gonna be left? The Payless shoes?
Gee. I'm about to start. Hey, I'm about to start rocking Shaq.
Airwalks?
No diss to Shaq, but I'm gonna start rocking Shaqs. Forget it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure it out myself. Shit, maybe we just slow to the game. Now we ain't slow to the game. It's just that people got bots out here. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
You know what I mean? A shoe drops and 5 minutes later it's sold out my size. It's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's something wrong with that.
Man. What they doing to us out here?
You know what I'm saying? Can I be fly? That's all I'm asking.
Nah, new topic. That was a really rough transition, but I'm seeing it on my timeline, and we got to address it. Diddy, he owns Revolt,
right?
And he put out this letter to advertisers. I think mainly like General Motors, because they had said something about helping the Black community, or, putting money towards, initiatives to help the Black community. And basically Diddy wrote a letter in response saying that, at Revolt, he sees the advertising dollars that are being spent on Black media, and he said it's terrible. He was like, we know how important the Black dollar is to corporations, yet your ad spend with Black media is pennies compared to your ad spend elsewhere. And he was like, if we are 15% of the population, then you should put forth 15% of your budget towards Black media. He was like, time and time again, you tell us that you're going to do this, or you tell us you're going to do that, but your money is not where your mouth is. Pay us what we are worth. A lot of the times, just like we were speaking about Air Force Ones, right? A big reason why sneaker culture is even a thing is because of the importance that Black people have put forth towards sneakers and fashion.
To that point, would anybody be wearing shell toe Adidas if it wasn't for Run DMC?
Run DMC, exactly. Think about, people like Spike Lee, right? They put, Spike put that iconic scene in the movie Do the Right Thing where, don't step on my Jordans, don't step on my J's.
Right.
You can take it away from that scene and then just talk about Jordan himself, and damn near how half the sneaker culture is driven by him.
Big fact.
You collect J's and then everything else. I don't know if you can call yourself a sneakerhead if all you do is collect Jordans, but for the most part, speak to any sneakerhead and they mainly have Jordans.
Right.
And then they have some Adidas on the side. Now you got your Adidas fanboys and things like that, but people who collect Jordans are like the main drivers of culture. So Jordan, a black man, his shoes, right? Um, you know, Spike Lee, he puts that scene in his movie, Don't Step on My J's. So that there, right then and there, you're putting that on the screen in 80 something or early 90 something about, you know, really, or my bad, I said 80 something. It's definitely in the 90s. But, he puts that scene in his movie in the 90s that's signifying that these sneakers are a prized possession.
Absolutely.
Don't scuff my sneakers and things like that. So I say all that to say, with black people's contribution, being a sneakerhead and sneaker culture is definitely blown up to the point where, these general releases are selling out. And you're telling me that these companies will not spend with black media? So that's where Diddy was getting at, right? And he had a point, correct?
Correct. Absolutely correct.
So I say all that. I say all that to say people got at Diddy and said, okay, so you want these companies to pay us what we're owed, but you, Diddy, have a history of not paying your artists what they are owed. Now, some of his artists spoke out, like Aubrey O'Day and things like that. Now, on the Button podcast, they kind of disputed, should we even listen to Aubrey O'Day? She's a white woman. And, what did she really do that much on his label?
Right.
Now, what I say to that is, regardless of how much she did or how much she contributed, if she was signed to his label and she sold records, then she needs to get paid what she's owed.
Period.
Just because, she did a little bit or was only over there for a little bit of time, it doesn't mean that, that justifies you. Or even if she's a white woman, it doesn't, justify that she was getting stiffed on payments.
Yeah, she made you profit. She should be getting paid.
Exactly. That goes for every artist, every employee.
Period.
Now, the real reason why this story is interesting to me is because Black Rob, famous for the song Whoa.
Whoa.
Yes, sir. He had spoken up today, reported by Complex, that he is homeless and dealing with health issues. Now, I haven't really read into the story. I see some GoFundMe links being retweeted and posted. I didn't even read the Complex post, but just seeing that, like, fam, one of your artists is out here homeless. Now, the reason why I make a disclaimer on why I didn't read it is because I can't really put that on Diddy. I can't put all of that on Diddy because, once you get your money, you should be able to manage it. So I can't say that Diddy is the reason why he's homeless and things like that.
Right.
But if you do want to look at Diddy's track record and all of his artists, there was a time when Biggie's family said they don't really see that many payments from everything Biggie's ever been licensed out to, after his death.
Yeah, who owns his master?
Like that. So, yeah, man, it's one of those things where can you outright blame Diddy for Black Rob being homeless? We don't know. But at the same time, there is a track record of artists not being paid what they are owed. And if we are to go by that, do you think that if Black Rob was paid what he was owed, would he be in the situation today? Who knows? I mean, we can't really say, but it's something to think about.
I mean,
it doesn't look good on you as a label owner that someone who had a hit single, one hit single, he doesn't need to live in the biggest house or have chains or a lot of cars or something, but he should at least be able to have a roof over his head,
support himself and support his family for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I 1,000% agree with that. what you just said, man. Like, we can't blame Diddy for his spending habits or how he saved and invested his money. But then again, it's like,
Did he even have enough to work with?
right, right,
Because the music industry, it's not like a regular job where you're getting paid twice a month. Those royalty checks come like every 3 months and stuff like that. So, you might be waiting on bread, even if you're owed money. You might be waiting on money, and sometimes, your money runs out in that period while you're waiting. So, you know, I hope he gets, what he deserves, what he's owed. I hope people can help him out. But yeah, man.
yeah. And to Diddy's point, it's always been you know a difference between how much big companies pay black owned or minority owned businesses versus the dollar amount they pay white artists, or you know what I mean, or companies
Mm-hmm.
owned by majority Caucasian professionals. And I think that I think that his problem and what the problem that he has with big business is legit. But also, just like you just questioned him not paying his people, like, man, you got to make sure your house is clean before you start throwing stones.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure that you're doing the right thing by your own people, or else the words that you speak out your mouth and what you're fighting for has no merit. You leave yourself open to be questioned. You leave yourself open to be discredited, um, which hurts us all, right?
Yeah.
Advertisement is big business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pepsi, Doublemint back in the day. I don't even know if Doublement's still around, are they? I don't even know.
Wrigley.
I mean Wrigley, yeah, but you don't really see people like you don't really see people like, oh, I'm sponsored by Wrigley. I think the last person I saw who was sponsored by them was Chris Brown. I think.
Okay. Yeah. He's probably not anymore.
Oh, no, Pepsi and Doublemint. They ran away from that real
Hey.
quick. They ran away from that situation real quick. But yeah, to my point though, like, those big endorsements, man, that's where the real money is. The endorsements are
Mm-hmm.
where the real money is. I mean, the music, if you, like you said, you own your masters and all that other good stuff. I mean, yeah, that's good, but I mean, that endorsement money is yours.
Yeah.
If you're marketable and you get endorsed by a big company, that's your money. The label has no claim to that money. Nobody else has any claim to that money, and that's why, you know, even I was watching they do a podcast too, right? And they recorded Gilly the Kid, Gilly the
Yep.
Kid.
$1 million worth of game.
Right. And that's one of the things that they were talking about. They were like, look, man, like, y'all talking about masters and stuff, but y'all don't even know what to do with them once you get them. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to pay other companies to, watch your streams and clock your dollars and gather all that income for you. Um, but when you get sponsored, sponsors is where it's at, because when you get sponsored, they cutting you a check. Boom. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And if you sponsored by Coke or Pepsi, or you sponsored by, you know what I mean, anybody, man, Express, you know what I'm saying? You
Yep.
sponsored by Honda, like, you getting, that's checks. That's big money.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the real money is. And that's what they were spitting. That's what they were spitting for the artists, the new artists out here, and upcoming artists. And yeah, man. So I support what he's saying. But yeah, Diddy. Ain't nobody getting no more cheesecake, bro.
You
I,
know,
I love you though.
it's like
you,
it's a
you my
great thing.
man.
It's a great thing you're saying, man. But he had to have known that there is going to be some backlash to come through.
Yeah, there always is.
He can't be oblivious to his own reputation out here.
Right, right. You got to be
You
honest
know,
with oneself.
billionaires, screaming about fairness, regardless if it helps,
Right.
the common person or not. It's gonna be, all right, fam. We got some real things to deal with.
Right.
Carry on.
They're definitely gonna come for you. They definitely
Yeah.
gonna come for you, man.
But shout out Diddy, man. He trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna drag him through the mud too much.
Hey, man.
Now, hey man, let's get back to some brighter topics. I feel like we've been on a roller coaster. We've been down and up and down and up.
Hey.
What movies you watched lately, man? Like I've been trying to get this movie Friday instituted in the household. So I order pizzas on Friday, and then we check out the movies, especially now since HBO Max has been lit. So we checked out Snyder Cut a few weeks ago. We checked
Well,
out Kong versus Godzilla. Um, just the other day, just this past Friday, we looked at Concrete Cowboy. Now, if you don't know about Concrete Cowboy, it's got I think his real name is Caleb, but
mhm.
the black kid from Stranger Things in there playing the lead, and you had Idris Elba
My boy
playing
Idris.
playing the supporting actor. Now, this reminded me of Charm City Kings. If you haven't seen Charm City Kings, that's a movie with Meek Mill, and it's a movie about a young boy who was kind of in the street, kind of a rough kid, kind of messing up, but he wanted to get down with a biker crew in Baltimore. And, he when he runs into Meek has already kind of lived that life, and Meek was the older guy telling him, like, hey, you know, this is what you should do. Keep your head out of the street. But he didn't want to listen. He was knuckleheaded, hard headed, got into some things. The streets got too real for him. And ultimately, in the end, Meek paid for this kid's mistakes. And this reminded me of that movie. Caleb in this movie in Concrete Cowboys, what he says is, you know, he comes up in Detroit, he's going through it, he's kicked out of another school. His mom was like, you're gonna go live with your pops. He contests it, he gets dropped off in Philly. Now, what I didn't know is a lot of these people are real people in Philly who acted in the movie. I won't give it away who the real people are. They are revealed at the end of the movie. Basically, when he gets dropped off in Philly, his dad owns a horse, and he works with a bunch of other people who own horses. So it's like a stable smack dab in the middle of the city. So basically, he puts his son to work. His son runs into some old friends. His old friends try to get him into that street life. He sees firsthand why the streets aren't for him. He finds that the people that he's been fighting all along are the people who really cares. So through his hard work and dedication at the stables, he really kind of like learns discipline. He learns responsibility. He becomes a man over that summer. And the city tries to, take away the horses. There's some like gentrification plots and things like that.
Right.
But basically, I'm not going to give away the whole thing, but they're able to like kind of get their horses back, and it's like a beautiful scene at the end that ties together everything that went down that summer, good and bad. So that was a movie that had a lot of good lessons, coming of age lessons. Like I said, discipline, responsibility, what being a man really is, having your priorities straight. So yeah, I saw parallels between that movie and Charm City Kings, but I really rocked with that movie. So that's a recommendation I want to give our listeners if they haven't checked it out, or if they're looking for something to watch online. That's available on Netflix. But yeah, man, have you checked out anything? Have you tuned into any new movies as of late?
So I haven't watched any of the new movies. Godzilla versus Kong is on my list of to do
Mm-hmm.
things, but what I have been keeping up with, and this is for the listeners too. If you're into the Marvel world, They got Falcon. They got the Falcon and
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
All right.
And that's the series that I'm watching right now, and it's
Disney
dope.
Plus.
It's dope. It's dope. Yeah, yeah. It's post Thanos. You know what I mean? Post Captain America. You know, man, it gets good and it gets deep.
So how many episodes so far?
4. It's 4 episodes.
Okay.
So you could really make it a night. You know what I mean? You could really sit down and catch a couple episodes and catch up.
Did you peep WandaVision?
Yeah. WandaVision.
How do these two compare? What are you picking? Which one is better?
I feel like WandaVision started off a little slower, but then got really, really good. I think that this series started off with more action. You know what I mean? Some big things happen, and it kind of piques your interest. You know what I mean? It makes you wonder, like, damn, why did that happen? Like, why did this happen? Like, I don't know. We got to keep watching. You know, like that type of thing. But WandaVision was kind of like, all right, where's this going? You know?
Yeah. Okay, I see you.
Like, what's the deal? But yeah, that's my recommendation. So if you want to catch a series, that's what you should catch if you got Disney Plus.
Okay, sounds good, bro.
Yeah, with that. Sometimes you got to mix it up, man. You gotta have some reality with some fantasy, man.
Hey, man, since you was talking about TV, right?
Right.
And I mentioned Netflix. You mentioned the show on Disney Plus. Let me give our listeners a recommendation that they can catch on their basic cable. I'm a big Law and Order fan.
Oof.
It don't matter if it's regular Law and Order, Criminal Intent, or SVU. I've watched them all.
You say you in there
like for a while, bro. Right. It's something about the structure. It's kind of reliable, but it's not too reliable to where it's corny. It's kind of like it's gonna be a good story. It's gonna be a good case. I want to see what goes down.
Right.
So if you were kind of like me, you knew that Stabler and man, I never remember her real name in the show, but I always call her by her actual real life name, Mariska. But Stabler and Mariska always had an chemistry that was unmatched. They kind of ran that show in SVU. But after a while, he ended up leaving the show because I guess I think he played on Oz. So a lot of people, if I'm dating myself here, but a lot of people, if you've ever watched Oz on HBO, a lot of those actors after that show was done went on to star in SVU. Right. So, this Stabler character, he after Oz, he was only in SVU. So, he was there for how many years? And I guess it was just one of those things where, as an actor, you want to continue to play new roles. So he stepped down from his role as Stabler. Now, Mariska, she never left. So she's been running that show forever. Right. From the beginning till now. But Stabler, he left and he wanted to do his own show called Happy. And I don't know how long that went. Maybe like one or two seasons.
Was that with the little stuffed animal? Like the little rabbit?
Yeah, I never watched it. It looked a little interesting. I was like, what's going on here? Right. This is what you want to pick? No hate. But at the same time, like, it was one of those things where it was like, all right. So I don't know if that show just ended and he was like, what, let me get back to something that works. Right. But he got out there, he did something new, and bam, now he's back at it. He joined back SVU, but now he's got his own show. So it's a whole new series, Law and Order Organized Crime. This time it's not, every episode isn't just about one case. Now the whole season is connected. So every single episode builds on the last episode. And basically he's in the organized crime unit. So they're trying to take down a mob boss. 2 episodes so far. I like it, of course, because I'm a Law and Order guy. But the one thing I will say is the mob boss guy. If you can power past him, it's a good show. But the mob boss guy is corny, bro. He is so corny. I'm like, they could have got somebody who is so much more believable. This guy is walking around with turtlenecks. You know, he's got like it's a white guy and he's got a black family, which is cool. I get it. I like the diversity. You know, Stabler is working with a black police chief, a black female police chief. So that's great. I could already see the diversity in the whole show.
Yeah.
And because it's a continuing like story and plot, and they put a little bit more money into like the camera and cinematography and things like that, so it looks like you're watching a whole different feel and things like that. But at the same time, man, it's like I'm watching the show and all of that could be thrown away by this mob boss. Like all the effort you guys put into this show, bring in Stabler because you guys have this super corny guy. Like, bro, what's going on here? Like,
hey, man. Hey,
his son,
Law and Order, if you listening,
please listen to me, bro. His son at one point told him like, "Yo, you could be the Jeff Bezos of organized crime." I was like, this is so corny. I was like, fam. Like when they talk to the other mob people, they all look like real mob people, people who you would actually like be wary of, people
Right.
who you expect. And then you got this guy who's supposed to be the boss, and he's wearing these turtlenecks. He's wearing this like European fashion. Like he's speaking really weird. Like, you know, he's trying to be down with the kids. I don't know, bro. If you after this episode, after we're done recording, if you just look up a little clip online, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because this guy, like they're lucky that I'm tapped in as a fan, that I'm willing to like power past it. But like at some point, he needs to get the boot. He needs to get clipped, and then they need to have another boss take his place. Because the one reason why I like Law and Order is because it's gritty, you know, like because it's like they try to put some realism into it, even though they have like, you know, like a formulaic kind of mode to all their episodes. It's at least gritty and things like that. This guy is a little bit too polished, too new age. He's like trying to gentrify the mob or something like that. Right. I don't like that.
You know what's crazy, man? It's I used to always think, right? Like, how do they do the casting for parts like that? Like to me in my head, like if you were doing a show about the mob or about like the hood or about like gangsters or about like, you know, just something that's just gritty and just raw, right?
Yeah.
You would want to cast people who are as close to that as possible. You know what I mean? Like you damn near want to go cast in that neighborhood.
Real thing.
Yeah, you damn near. You know, I mean, think about it, bro. Think about that. You know, from the hood to the screen. You know.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I bought a book on The Wire, right? And we know The Wire. We know what weight it holds in history.
Yeah.
And the writers said that they, you know, not only did they employ some real people from those Baltimore streets to act, gave them their first acting jobs, but they let those same people, you know, read the script and give them advice and say, you know, we wouldn't say this. This is not how.
This isn't something we would say, right?
You know, and if they weren't actors, they actually did sit down with real people from those neighborhoods to give them comments on their script. And not just the people in the hood, but they actually sat down with like a retired police officer to say, you know, everything, not just to make the police look good. You know, a lot of times, you know, these you know, Hollywood shows or movies will sit down with real police or military people, and the military people will, all they'll do is give them notes on how to make themselves look better. So The Wire sitting down with you know, real retired police officers, they weren't necessarily trying to, you know, put themselves in a good light. It was literally all about
being real.
This is what really goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how things really work.
Exactly. And speaking on that note, controversial, but I'm gonna say it. Spike Lee, man, you should have hollered at me for